Did you know that over 150 original Pikmin enemies were created? And this is how the community ranked them. You see, back in January, I asked for Pikmin enemy ideas, and a total of 421 were submitted. I ended up accepting around 214 and incorporating them in some way or another into the 152 drawings that were made by the end of it. Naturally, I thought, which design is most liked overall? So, I put them all against each other in one massive tournament bracket and asked you, the community, to see which one was best. The placement of the bracket was done randomly, but I also had an algorithm I made to place similar enemies close together. Longlegs Land down here was a result of that. With all that out of the way, let's go over the tournament. Kicking it off with two iconic enemy types, we have Steaming Longlegs against the Alerting Bulborb. We already know that only one came out though. The second round contained another Longlegs versus the Electric Blowhawk, but stomping the competition, Bony Longlegs came out on top. Two pincer users were up, the Shell Shock Aristocrab and the Mechatail, but technology beat biology here. The Thundorb against the Fiery Longlegs, but it was the Bulborb who was left shocked by this encounter. Blazing into the next bracket, we have the Molten Rumpup against the Botanical Goopede. This time though, the flames were put out. Next, we have a spider mixed with a scorpion, the Spindly Rumpup, which sounds terrifying, but it's nothing compared to its competition, the Dreadborb, and the polls reflected this. Burning Snagret against Shelled Longlegs, but here's the thing, you wouldn't download a Crab Longlegs, so winning with 69%, we have Burning Snagret. I could smell the next bracket coming, and that's because it had the Murky Prog against the lesser spotted Toxic Float. Both are pretty hazardous, but the Prog managed to snag the dub with some dirty tactics. Squills and Squeals against the Emperor Spectralid, Roly Polies against a Butterfly, and soaring to victory we have the Emperor. The next poll had another Butterfly, the Multicolored Spectralid, against the Trippytail. This time the tables turned for the Spectralid family though, and Trippytail took the win. Legs against legs, we had Vibrant Longlegs against Chomping Longlegs, but only one was winning this. Two Goofy Goobers are up, and that's the Abysmal Clawseeker and the Spiky Wollihop, and winning this bracket was the Clawseeker. Next up we have another two spiders, Grieving Longlegs and the Man of Destruction, and together these two have become Legs, the destroyer of Pikmin. Only one was the true master of death though. The following round had the Air Wraith against the Loaf Bug. The Bread Nation knew how this one would play out. In the battle between the Fiery Jitterybug and the Sacred Nalura, the fires ended up being extinguished. Plant versus Plant, the Potted Struling, beat the Strawberrian with the exact same ratio as the last poll. Earth against Water, we had the Crystallized Blowhog against the Deceiving Blino, and the crystals shine through the deception this time around. The following had two Trap-type enemies, the Treasure Hermit against the Puffmin Onion. Puffmin Nation was very strong and ended up winning with 82%. The closest bracket in pretty much the entire tournament was up next, and that's the Hermit Terror Crab against the Mudchucker. At the end though, only one crab would be left standing. The biggest enemy against the realest enemy, and that's the battle between the Gravity Wraith and the Cardboard Longlegs. But Gravity ended up defeating Cardboard this time around. The Louis of Dirigibugs, the Chopping Dirigibug, against the Controller. I guess people like gaming more than they like food, because the controller wouldn't let him cook, and ended up controlling the competition. Okay, I'll stop. Tyrannid went against Robo-Wisp in this round, but people knew that ground beat steel, so the answer was obvious. This bracket had the Glowbat against the Icy Myreclops, only the Glowbat was stopped in its tracks, even though it doesn't walk. Whatever, the Myreclops won. Fire against Lightning for like the third time in this tournament. The Inferno Prog against the Electro Stool. We know how this matchup went in the past, Fire won. Unfortunate for the Electro Stool, since it's the Talk Stool but electric. If this was in Pikmin 2, this thing would destroy everything. And I can see it working well with the Node Beetles. Anyways, moving on, I'm getting sidetracked. The next matchup had the Assassin Dweevil fighting our second Mushroom Boy, the Gloom Stool. Only, like last time, the Mushroom was defeated. Unfortunate for the Gloom Stool, since it's the Talk Stool but Gloom. If this thing was in Pikmin 2, this would destroy everything because it's Gloom. And I can see it working well with the Node Beetles. With that, the not first round is complete, as those were the extras that kept us from having a nice 128 bracket. So now we move into technically like the first round of the tournament. For this set of rounds, it was done in groups of 4 to help things move along more quickly. To start, we have the Prancing Lilliby, Steaming Longlegs, Waterborne Bulborb, and Gargantuan Worm. It was tough, but rising from the ashes of this battle, Steaming Longlegs with 53%. This battle had the Ice Jelly Crushblat against 3 Bulborbs, the Triblacks, Spiky Bulborb, and Golden Bulborb. Could this little dude solo? The answer is yes, with 72%. Shielded Bloister, Jawbreaking Sphere Crab, Sanded Hermit, and Bony are up, and the only one raving at the end would be the Sanded Hermit. Blazing Cannon Beetle, remember the Fire Snout Beetle? This is it now. Giant Antenna Beetle, remember the regular one? This is him now. Mechatail, remember that one? Yeah, this is him now too. And Squigglepuss are this round's combatants. Securing the top spot is the Squigglepuss with 41%. The Primitive Cannon Beetle, Adult Rocky Burrownit, Blowlit Digger, and Fiery Longlegs are up. And this time favored those with more time, which is really complex, but I'm just trying to say the Primitive Cannon Beetle won. In this round, we got another familiar face, the Botanical Goopede, the Fluffy Sprinkler, Toxic Blowhog, and Sequatic Pick Snatcher. This bracket was pretty cool, with the percentages going 15, 16, 17, 18. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Oh, 53. That makes sense now. Battle of Bulborbs here, the Bioluminescent Bulblacks, Watery Bulblacks, Wing Bulborb, and the terror of the tournament, Dreadborb. Were we really wondering who would win in a fight between these? Yeah, the Dreadborb takes the top spot. The Burning Snaggerit going against the Icy Bulblacks, Nightmare Prog, and Clawed Bulborb. It appears that the community likes the stuff of nightmares, since the Prog came out winning with 73%. This round has the Burrowing Pincerbug, Murky Prog, Two-Headed Armored Manthead, and Fool's Food. And winning this one is the Fool's Food. This bracket had some more awesome designs with the Stumpler, Bug at Wings, Ancient Snootwhacker, and Canopy Beetle. Only the Cyborg had one objective here: terminate the competition, and that's exactly what happened. This round is filled with flying creatures and a Dweevil. We got the Emperor Spectralid, Mosquito, Frosted Behemoth, and Crystallized Weevil. And soaring to victory yet again is the Emperor. The Fanworm, Ujidani Rock, Panicked Weevil, and Trippy Tail bracket surprised me. Like, the winner really surprised me because the Rock won. It is what it is, I guess. A mix of Bulborbs and Longlegs are inbound. The Vinetongue Roseborb, Vibrant Longlegs, Fogborb, and Dandely Longlegs. But shining bright, Vibrant Longlegs continues its winning streak. Further into Longlegs land, we have another battle, with the Electrified Longlegs, Chilling Longlegs, One Man's Trash, and Revolving Longlegs. And as the pole started to spin into motion, only one remained. Amidst the stomping ground was a very small group of the Fiery Crushblat, Abysmal Clawseeker, Angler Wallystop, and Moldy Bullbear. I'd say he stomped the competition, but this frog can't jump, so we'll just say he let the competition walk all over him and still ended up winning somehow. Back to the old stomping ground, we have Mossy Shortlegs, Labon Legs, Grieving Longlegs, and Weedy Sea Legs. However, only one is the master of both life and death, and summoning a portal to victory, we have Grieving Longlegs. A smaller bracket is up, and that is the Baguette Bug, Honey Piercer, and Loaf Bug. Which I'll just say poor B-Boy for this matchup, but at the same time, bread and honey sounds like a great combo. Anyways, stop making me hungry. We got a Baguette Bug to watch win. Following, we have the Torty Maestro, Moldy Bread Bug, Curious Posswater, and continuing with the bread, the Dough Bug. In the end though, it was the cat that got the victory. Sacred Nalura re-enters the tournament against the Flittering Dandlefly, Toxic Wraith, and Watering Pickstalker. There's a lot of supporters for the littlest fellow in this bracket. It wasn't enough to escape the Wrath's Wraith though. The next bracket had the Potted Struling, Three-Headed Greater Snaggerit, Waxbug, and Blaton. And soaring above the competition, we have the Snaggerit. Another day, another bracket. In this one is the Artillery Beetle, Crystallized Blowhog, Hairy Slurker, and Scoop Goop. The biggest enemy got the biggest votes here, with the Beetle taking the top spot. Granite Grinder, Mud Blowhog, Toxic Cannon Beetle, and Titan Lily Lurker took to the ring. Following through with his family's past, we have the Beetle winning yet again. Accordion Beetle, Jellyfake, Ninchaku, and Puffman Onion rolled up for this poll, and the Puffman army stayed strong, fighting through and winning the victory. Pianopede, Seagrub, Puffy Cedar, and Mudchucker arrived. There was only one tune playing in this bracket though, with the Pianopede winning at 77%. A big lineup following with the Downy Ornament, Gravity Wraith, Volatile Wallyhop, and Atomic Wraith. They all put up a good fight, but only Gravity remained in the end. Bludgeoning Jasmite, Fiery Wallyhop, Fool's Treasure, and Hunting Groink are in, and in this crusade, only the most experienced ones come out of battle. Rolling Sneepoodle, Zappy Wallyhop, Rummaging Tartic, and the Controller. Unlike last time, the Controller couldn't control the competition, and the Tick rose the ranks. The Battle of the Hidden, we have the Tyrannid, Pickberry Cover, Pinching Crabsy, and Blooming Chrysanthemum. Which is the best Mimic enemy though? Well, the winner of this round was the Tyrannid. Icy Myreclops, Tearball Wraith, Puffamar, and Lesser Clops. 2 big boys against 2 small boys. Only one big boy is actually a small boy. Tearball rolled its way into that #1 spot. Bushy Myreclops, Cave Dwelling Crushblat, No Man's Land, and Descending Longlegs. 3 legs and 1 other, although the other guy's got some legs on him too, so we'll just say 4 leggy enemies. There was only one Warzone walking out of this Warzone though, and that's No Man's Land with 68%. Assassin Dweevil, Stony Pacefish, Monarch Mimic Maudad, and Clockwork Dirigibug. This battle would be a hard one, but taking that top spot is the Assassin Dweevil. For the final bracket of this round, we have the Calculated Skitterleaf, Rammer Snagrit, Googly-Eyed Simic, and Inferno Prog. One might think the Inferno Prog would burn brightest, but they'd be wrong. They'd fail to account for the calculated victory from this goofy bug. And with that, we have seen every single one of the 152 enemies at least once, and reduced the enemies in this tournament to just 32. If you're enjoying seeing all these enemy designs and want to learn more about any of these awesome ideas, I'll remind you that there is a playlist covering every single one of these with timestamps across each video. Additionally, there is my art page where you can view and download all of the drawings for free. Likes and follows to the art page are appreciated, and of course subscribing and liking this video is the best way to support me. Continuing on, we have Steaming Longlegs, Ice Jelly Crushblat, the Sanded Hermit, and Squigglepuss. Rising from the smoke of this battle is Steaming Longlegs taking first place. This bracket had 3 creatures that haunt my dreams, and a Cannon Beetle. And the Dreadborb's terror over the tournament would end here, with Nightmare Prog taking the win. In the following bracket, the Ujidani Rock came in last, followed by the Bugette Wings, the Emperor Spectralid making the Butterflies proud at 22%, and winning it is the Fool's Food. Back into the stomping grounds, we have the best of the best Longlegs, and that one guy that snuck in here. Only it was shown that he couldn't hang with the Longlegs, and the Angular Wollystop came in last place, followed by Vibrant Longlegs, leaving the face of the tournament against Revolving Longlegs. But only one could stand atop all spiders, and that was the Revolving. This bracket had the Curious Posswater and Toxic Wraith coming in the bottom 2 slots. The 3-headed Snagrit tried its best getting 30%, but was defeated in the end. It's kind of funny to think that bread beat a bird. This bracket had some really big hitters. In a poetic way, we have the 2 beetles standing side by side in 3rd place. Would the Pianopede beat the Puffman Onion though? The answer is yes, and Pianopede pulled ahead. This poll has some pretty big bugs. The Tyrannid, Rummaging Tartic, they tried their best, but the others were just too strong. However, could a mere knight defeat a planet-sized threat? Yes. The knight sliced through gravity itself to claim victory. It appears that chivalry isn't dead. And closing this shorter round of brackets, we have the Calculated Skitterleaf, followed by the Assassin Dweevil, Tearball in second, and No Man's Land in first. And kicking it back into 1v1s for the quarterfinals, we have the Nightmare Prog against Steaming, with Nightmare taking the victory. The Fool's Food against the final hope of the Spider's family. And keeping that hope alive, winning with 69% of the vote, Revolving Longlegs. This battle had the Pianopede against the Baguette Bug. And in a surprising turn of events, Pianopede emerged from the battle with 72% of the vote. Up next, Bludgeoning Joustmite against a Walking Warzone. The past against the present. Who would win? Apparently, chivalry was joust over with this. Now moving on to the semifinals, or the big 4 of the tournament, we have the Battle of Titans. The Nightmare itself against the Spinning Spider. In second, Nightmare Prog, and Revolving in first. And for the other semifinals, we have the Master of Music versus the Master of Warfare. And Music beat War this time, with the Pianopede coming in first. Before moving on to the very finals, we have the 3rd place. Nightmare Prog against No Man's Land. It was close, but Nightmare Prog managed to get that bronze medal with 59% of the vote, and No Man's Land getting the remaining 41%. For the finals, we have Revolving Longlegs against the Pianopede. The best of the Longlegs, the most popular enemy type in the entire Pikmin series, because you gotta remember, Groovy's the goat of the enemies, against the Pianopede, the underdog who could, who's already beaten all the other popular categories in its lineup. It's beaten Puffman, Breadbugs, and most recently, a Myreclops. But could it beat the most popular of all types, a Longlegs? The combatants are set, and while it took a while for the dust to settle, the winner was clear within the first few votes. We have our custom community creation winner. We have the Pianopede. The underdog who could, the usurper of thrones, rising to the top. It's been a long road to get here and over 6 months in the making. With over 100 combined content posts across videos, shorts, and community posts, 200,000 views, 40,000 votes, 14,000 likes, and over 300 hours that I've put into this event. From here, there will be a short 3D model series where the winner and these fellows will get a 3D model made for them. But that's not all. You see, I've invited 2 friends to see what their favorites were in this tournament.
I had so much trouble picking just one creature because most of these ideas are straight up brilliant. So I'm going to go over my top 5. In 5th place, we got the Curious Paw Swatter. I think it'd be very cool to see some sort of space cat variant, fleshing out this whole space animal thing. In 4th, I couldn't forget about the Fool's Food. It's an apple with eyes. The 3-headed Greater Snagrid gets 3rd place for me. As someone who loves Greek mythology and birds, I think a 3-headed Snagrid is such a cool spin on the Hydra. In 2nd place, we have the creature I requested, the Thundorb. I think it's about time Nintendo finally gave us an electric bulb orb, and this design is near perfect. Or the one I made on my channel. And my absolute favorite one of Invisaron's creatures has to be No Man's Land. It's a mixture of the Man-at-Legs and the Quaggle and having this 1940s steampunk kind of vibe to it makes it even better. But the cherry on top has to be its name. No Man's Land just sounds so menacing. Massive thanks to the extremely talented Invisaron for letting me be a part of this video. If you're not subscribed to this man, stop what you're doing right now and press that button. Thanks again.
Hey everybody, it's Wigwam Man. My 5th pick would be the Burrowing Pincer Bug. The Burrowing Pincer Bug's design just fits so well into Pikmin, and I love how he looks a little bit like an armored cannon beetle at a really small scale. Something like this little dude would fit super well in the Pikmin world. For my 4th place, I have the Bludgeoning Joustmite. This creature is based off a flanged mace, which already is super cool. Not to mention that it has like knight's armor on its front visor, which looks awesome. This thing has a killer design and I can see it causing some serious damage. In my 3rd place, I have the Chopping Dirigibug. This one's definitely a bit biased because I love Dirigibugs so much. But I mean, just look at him. He's a Dirigibug with a chef hat on and a little pot. What more could you want? He's super cute. In 2nd place, I have the Toxic Cannon Beetle. This guy also has a crazy cool design, and just imagine fighting a whole Cannon Beetle boss, but you have to use white Pikmin, the best Pikmin ever? Now that sounds cool to me. And for my 1st place, I have the Lab on Legs. What more can I say? Just look at this guy's design. We honestly need more long legs fights which are based off different elements. This one seems to be completely based off poison, which I love. And with that said, that is my top 5 picks. I honestly had to try really hard to not pick either all toxic enemies or all long legses because there is so many good ones. Anyways, that's all from me. Thank you very much, Invisaron. I'll see you guys later.
So after hearing that, thank you very much to these guys, and you can expect to see these in 3D as well. Also, remember to subscribe to these guys if you aren't already for more great content. There you have it. The biggest custom Pikmin enemy event ever held comes to a close.